I'm Aaron, a brooding naturalist. Welcome back to my channel. This video is going to be a fun one. We're talking about ticks and lizards and Lyme. Oh my. The weather is warming up in Central California and in fact across most of the Northern Hemisphere. And with warmer weather comes tick season. Ticks really bother a lot of people. Kind of understandable. They're a weird little creepy crawly. Okay. But they're actually also really fascinating, and they are not as dangerous and scary as a lot of people think. And that's really what I want to focus on in this video. A lot of people are really worried about Lyme disease. Lyme disease is a disease caused by a bacteria that, yes, can be transmitted by ticks. So if a tick bites you, they have to bite you. But if a tick bites you, it can transmit the bacteria from its system to your system, and you can get Lyme disease. There is a possibility of that happening. But, especially here in California, we have a bunch of reasons why that actually isn't a huge risk. It isn't a huge danger. It isn't something that you really need to invest a lot of energy being worried about. One is the type of tick that it is. So there's actually only one genus of tick that carries Lyme disease, the Ixodes ticks. In California, our sort of most common Ixodes is the Western black-legged tick. It's got black legs. Western black-legged ticks are actually not the most common tick that we have in California. Most of the ticks that I find when I'm wandering around, the ones that I found today wandering around, crawling on me, ones that I get on my dog, they are actually members of a different genus of ticks, the Derma Center ticks. They look like this. Note, they do not have black legs, much more sort of brown to reddish legs. Derma Center ticks can carry other diseases, Rocky Mountain spotted fever, a few others, but the big one that everyone's really concerned about, Lyme disease, they don't carry at all. So that's the first reason why you maybe don't have to worry about a tick if you find one on you. And that is, oh, it's a Derma Center tick. No way I'm getting Lyme disease, because it's not an Ixodes tick. Another wonderful, fascinating, amazing reason why we don't have crazy high rates of Lyme disease in California has to do with Western fence lizards like these. The Western black-legged tick, the Ixodes, the ones that can carry Lyme disease, love to feed off of Western fence lizards. And Western fence lizards have a protein in their blood that kills off the Lyme disease bacteria. So when an Ixodes tick, even if it was infected with Lyme disease, bites a lizard, a Western fence lizard, not only does the Western fence lizard not get Lyme disease, but it actually cures, it purges, it clears out the Lyme disease bacteria from the tick. So if that tick were to then detach from the lizard, go off and bite you next, it's not going to give you Lyme disease. It's been cleaned out by that lizard. And these Western fence lizards are very common. We have tons of them in California. So there are a lot of them to do this cleaning, to do this disinfecting almost, if you will, of Lyme disease from ticks. Another reason why you don't have to be too worried is how long it takes for a tick to bite a human being. They don't bite quickly. Mosquitoes bite fast. Mosquitoes land on you and will stick you right away. Draw blood out real quick, fly away. Super quick. Ticks go slowly. They crawl over often a fair bit of your body trying to find the right spot. So that gives you a chance to feel them and to just flick them away before they even have a chance to do anything. Because of course, like I said at the beginning, the ticks have to actually bite you to transmit any disease at all. But then even after they bite, it takes them so long to kind of get all the way in and set up and situated, they don't transmit the Lyme disease very quickly. It takes something like on the order of 24 hours of them biting you before they're actually going to infect you with Lyme disease if they have it. So that again is another pretty long window of time when you could find these ticks, pull them off you, and really have pretty darn low odds of getting any kind of serious health impact. So it comes together, right? The type of tick that we're talking about. It's not every tick, just Ixodes ticks carry Lyme disease. It's their feeding behavior. This is an Ixodes tick that has to have not fed off of a lizard before coming to you. Now, it's possible they fed off a lizard, then they went off and fed off a deer and did get reinfected with Lyme disease, and then left the deer and came to you next. But it's stretching out the odds quite a bit. If it just goes lizard to you, no Lyme disease. And then there's the speed. There's how long it takes for them to find a spot and then to bite you, which is how long you have to find it and just fairly harmlessly get rid of it. All these things compound to giving California pretty darn low rates of Lyme disease. It's not something that you have to majorly worry about. Back east, especially in the northeastern US, it's a much bigger deal. They don't have western fence lizards. They do have Ixodes ticks, and so their rates of Lyme disease are quite a bit higher. Down in the southeastern US, however, there is a different lizard. It's a kind of skink that it seems like, this is fairly newish research, but it seems like also has a protein in its blood that also kills off Lyme disease. And so that might be a protection in that region of the country. Why, again, the highest rates of Lyme disease are in the northeast, not in the southeast, and not out west. Because we've got these different lizards kind of protecting us, acting as this Lyme disease buffer, if you will. So it all kind of comes together and results in hopefully a lowering of concern, a lowering of adrenaline when you find a tick on you. Sure, get them off you, it's great, but don't have to really worry that much. You can also do things like wearing longer socks and tucking your pant legs into your socks to make it harder for the ticks when they crawl up your shoe to get into bare skin, right? They have to like basically climb up all your pant leg, which means you have a whole pant leg's worth of time to see them coming. There are lots of good things. You can also avoid wandering around through tall grass because they love tall grasses. So, maybe avoid that. All right, fine. But even if you get a tick on you, and even if it bites you, there are a lot of other reasons why you don't have to worry that much. Now, there's a wrinkle here, an interesting wrinkle, and that is there was an experiment done that excluded western fence lizards from a region. And the experimenters, the scientists, wanted to see what Lyme disease rates would do in that area. The prediction was, all right, if western fence lizards knock out the Lyme disease, then if you take out the western fence lizards, Lyme disease rates should go up. And it turns out Lyme disease rates went down. And so the hypothesis was that actually what's going on is that these western fence lizards are so important. They're so much the preferred food source for especially young Ixodes ticks that if you take away that food source, if you take away that reservoir, that resource from the tick population, a lot more of those ticks do not survive to adulthood and so cannot possibly bite anybody because they're dead. So it's an interesting wrinkle. It was a little bit of a surprise. I am definitely not advocating for wiping out all western fence lizards. I think they are awesome little critters. And I think it is really fascinating that they have this property of their blood, this protein in their blood, that not entirely sure why it was evolved, but probably to defend themselves against Lyme disease, but has this sort of side effect, this ripple of protecting us from Lyme disease as well. So next time you're out and you see a western fence lizard on a rock or on the path, or dare I say on a fence, take a moment, realize what a beautiful, amazing creature that is, and what a cool benefit that we get from them as a side effect. I hope you found this interesting. I hope you are less concerned with ticks if you find one. I hope that you share this video and share this information with friends and family when you're out hiking. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much for the view. And until next time, enjoy the natural world.